Austin's Police Association says public safety is at risk the longer officers go without driver training following serious crashes. This after the latest collision that netted an experienced officer 3 days suspension, and now he's back on the road. KXAN's Robert Maxwell shows us the dash cam video, all new at 10.
Running first one yellow light while driving along 15th Street, then a second light turning red. A disciplinary memo says Officer Stephen Krippner broke department policy about driving with care. It appears no one was seriously hurt. And listen as the officers heard saying he was distracted.
I thought I saw that woman stepping off the corner and she moved and I didn't see the red light.
The association that represents Austin's police calls on-the-job collisions one of its top issues.
Officers drive thousands of miles a year, especially if you're in the patrol division, and the officers are going to make mistakes.
But the association says learning from those mistakes in a controlled environment is retraining that's lacking at APD's busy academy right now.
Probably about 10 years ago, we had a continuing training out there with, if you had an accident, you could go and be retrained.
Now an officer who sits through a suspension likely goes straight back to work. While the assistant chief doesn't dispute the staffing challenges, Brian Manley says this: just because an officer is involved in a negligent collision doesn't mean we'll give him retraining. He says if an officer exhibits a pattern of behavior, we'll put together a prescriptive driving course to help him. But for the association, it's only a matter of time before a repeat of this collision that injured a motorcyclist and brought a lawsuit.
The officer serves his suspension, and in the association's opinion, has learned nothing.
In Austin, Robert Maxwell, KXAN News.
The disciplinary memo does not mention if Officer Krippner had been involved in prior collisions, but Assistant Chief Brian Manley tells KXAN an officer's first crash would normally warrant a written reprimand. Well, to give you some context on this whole issue, we pulled the total number of Austin police collisions over the last 3 years. In 2010, there were more than 250. In the last couple of years, it was closer to 300 crashes.